I was a lost post-college student doing retail work. I originally went to school for interactive multimedia, and I wanted to get into games somehow. I wanted to make something, but I didn't know how to. I took the Playcrafting Learn Unity in 8 weeks course, and I learned how to develop games. The first big thing that I made, at least for myself, was a game called Coliseum. I made that with a fellow Playcrafting student named Jose Zambrano. Coliseum was an asymmetrical multiplayer game where players competed in an arena and had to fight against another player who was the arena master. But they were all competing against each other as well. After taking the Playcrafting Unity course, I got out with the sense that I could actually create games. Stuido Studios began, I would say, with Jose and I working on Coliseum. We worked in local coffee shops, local sandwich shops, for weeks after our Playcrafting class ended. We showed our game Coliseum, and some people started to take notice, and another one of our fellow students, Stuido Hassan, he was working on a VR game, and he asked us if we would join him. And so Stuido, Jose, and I all started working on Don't Look Away, and that game eventually released, and it got over 200,000 downloads, which was really cool. And it was also our first introduction to a VR game. And after working on that game, we decided, hey, this is something that we can actually do and kind of be successful at. We created a game called Witchualistic, which was at the Global Game Jam a few years ago. It was a cooperative local multiplayer. So you all took on the role of witches who were trying to do a ritual for their warlock master. And so it was about properly pressing the buttons in time in tandem with your teammates as quickly as possible. We created a game called The Take, which is a VR game, local multiplayer, where you take on the role of competing spies in a comic book world as you hide and seek classified intel. We made Calcareous at the Indie Game Jam. It's a top-down space shooter, but in the deep sea, where you have to defend this gigantic brain coral from certain death. The Learn Unity in 8 weeks course was an entry point into the Playcrafting community for me. I was welcomed into a community that didn't mind if my games had bugs or were completely broken, or if I taped all of my code together with gum and hope. You get to meet other New York City developers, and they will treat you as one of their own because they know what it's like. I'm now teaching the same course that I took a few years ago, with Jose actually. We're showing that code is approachable, that making games in New York City is completely possible, and we're going out there and trying to help other students who want to form their own teams do so.